start the video, I want to say I actually love James Gunn's Creature Commandos. As of right now, with only 5 episodes out, the show has completely blown me away. From the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise to the remake of Suicide Squad and his works on the Peacemaker series, I can understand why people are so excited for James Gunn's take on the DCEU. While watching Creature Commandos, I couldn't help but think about Warner Bros.' past attempts of making an anime which failed horribly. Of course, I'm talking about the Suicide Squad Isekai anime. If you're a regular for my channel, you should know I actually reviewed this anime a few months back. And to say that I was disappointed would be an understatement, to say the least. In that video, I shared my disappointment with the series. At that time, there's only 4 or 5 episodes out. If you want a deeper dive into my thoughts on it, feel free to check out the original video. But to stay on track, let's focus on something that actually matters. I'm actually impressed how James Gunn could take these lesser known characters and make them actually enjoyable. I want to be upfront, I'm not a comic book guy, but I did grow up having a niche interest in comic books. I happen to watch channels like Variant Comics and Comic Historian, so I'm kinda tapped in. Personally, I would never sided with DC like that. I was always Team Marvel. If I was asked who are my favorite DC characters, I would say something like Blue Beetle or Jason Todd. So when I seen clips of Creature Commandos on TikTok and I noticed how many people are actually raving how good it was, I was like, okay, I'll give a show a try. And I wasn't disappointed at all. If I was to ask myself why do I like most about the show, I would say it's because of the characters. Of course, I'm talking about the Creature Commandos team, a group of non-human misfits similar to the Suicide Squad, which includes members like G.I. Robot, The Bride, Riesel, Nina, and my personal favorite, Dr. Phosphorus, all being led by Rick Flags. When it comes to the overall arching story of the series, I personally don't care as of right now. But what I do care plot-wise is the dynamic between Frankenstein and the Bride. But that's a video for another day. What really impressed me about the show is how they was able to dive in the background of these characters. So as I was watching Creature Commandos, I couldn't help but remember the disappointment that was the Suicide Squad anime, and I decided to finish the rest of the episodes. And while Creature Commandos impressed me immensely, the Suicide Squad anime left me equally disappointed. Now let's talk about it. As I was watching the later episodes of the Suicide Squad anime, I was just tired. And what I mean by tired was that it was tiring watching the latter half of the episode. The whole plot about the Suicide Squad trying to get on the good side of the kingdom so Amanda Waller and the US government can establish a trade market between the two nations, that being, the US government and the kingdom itself, was really not really put together. What I mean is that their original objective kind of feels lost to the plot. And it seems like the anime tried to focus more of showcase the mystical side of this new world, which overshadowed their main goal. And for all the trouble our main cast went through, you think the show would make it clear what exactly they needed from this new world, which was never explained. And as the episode kept going on, it felt like the show was trying to focus simply checking off the typical shonen isekai checklist. The worst part was that every plot twist was poorly set up and horribly executed to an unbelievable degree. From the queen being the undead king to Katana actually being the Joker in disguise, nothing landed well. The season finale was a heaping pile of garbage, and because of that, I recant my previous comments on the Suicide Squad anime. It's no longer mediocre, it's just actually bad. My takeaway is that the Suicide Squad anime failed because the main draw was that it was just a typical anime. Usually I say that existing popular IPs are more enough to carry on a brand into a new medium. Medium being a new forms of entertainment, just like Marvel Rivals for example. My point is that it feels like their goal was trying to make an anime, not a unique story. And as a result of that, they didn't take any necessary precautions to craft a decent narrative. Meanwhile, Creature Commandos, with only 5 episodes out of the writing of this script, was able to establish much more than the Suicide Squad anime could. And to be honest, the only thing I give credit to the Suicide Squad anime was that it had very good animation in the beginning, but that didn't last long. I keep saying this here on the channel. I'm not an animation snob, but I know when something's being done when it comes to cutting corners when it comes to anything entertainment wise. So any praise I had for this show completely out the window. Overall, I made my point very clear on how I feel about the Suicide Squad anime, and hopefully this will be the last video of me talking about it. On the other hand, Creature Commandos is an absolute gem of a show, and I can't see what more the series have in store. I'm your host Taking, and we do a little reviewing around here. Peace.